皆様、お待たせいたしました。お待たせしすぎたかもしれません。平成最後のエロごとしの Justin でございます。Okay, so what's everybody? This is Justin here. And yeah, so this is my second episode of my sit-in chats, which I decided to do, on occasion. And I'm not someone who can really sit for long. Maybe it's ADHD, fuck, I don't know. But either way, this is something, I'll do occasionally from now on, in addition to my walking talks. So last time I showed you, I gave you an idea of streaming in Japan, most particularly with Unext. The top, one of the top native streaming services in Japan, where you can, get a lot of anime. And yeah, so maybe if you're staying at least, a month in Japan or so, you can get yourself a Unix card, at a grocery store or a convenience store, and, check that out. But of course, most of the anime, or pretty much all of them, are going to be in Japanese. There's going to be no English subs or any dubs of any other languages, so it's all going to be in Japanese. And as I talked about in that video, I talked about, streaming and, how some people like to prefer, let's say, physical media over streaming. And I talked about, like, how that's uniquely, an American thing. And I think physical media, as more particularly, let's just say, DVDs and Blu-rays, they're really expensive in Japan. But alternatively, this will, transition to today's topic, manga. Manga is much, much cheaper in Japan, preferably if you can get it used. Usually you can buy sets, like a full set of a certain manga series, on average between, 2,000 to 4,000 yen, and when the time's right, you can get them 50% off. And today I want to show you my manga collection that I have here in Japan, that I have here. I do have other manga back home, in my parents' house in Arizona, but I'm going to show you everything I have here in my house in Japan. And most of these sets I managed to get on average, around 3,000 yen. So yes, I'll give you a tour of, my manga collection, starting from here. So here I have Karate Baka Ichidai. This is a manga about karate, about Mas Oyama. And apparently this is like one of the manga series that inspired Street Fighter. And the anime was called Karate Fighter overseas. And I think it was like on the American Hulu. And down here I have Naoki Urasawa's 20th Century Boys. It's like a very hit manga. And it had 3 live action movies. And I'm really, shocked to see that at least Netflix hasn't made, an anime adaptation as of yet. Because I think this would make a really good anime on Netflix, or maybe any other streaming service. And here I have the entire manga of Tokyo Revengers. So I know the anime is going to have its next installment soon. But yeah, I think the anime has yet to animate the third and final act of this particular, the last third of the manga. So far, the anime covers the first 2/3. And, the last third takes a really interesting turn. And which is what some people may like it, some people might won't. But, it kind of brings everything full circle. And let me get these out of the way. Here I have Hana Yori Dango. It's had some very famous adaptations over the years. Not just anime, but live action. Like it had a live action adaptation in the early 90s when the manga was starting out. And it had another live action adaptation like in the mid 2000s. And sometime in the the late 90s, early 2000s, Taiwan started their own version called Meteor Garden. And here I have Lovely Complex on the top right here. I got this around the time like that controversy was starting about like the whole translation of this character being like trans or something. And it turns out I got like the entire manga here, all 17 volumes for just 900 yen. And I got this for like say 3,000 or 4,000 yen at the Mandarake in Akihabara. I got this for like 2,000 yen at a book off, I don't know where. I got this at a book off, I think in Hachioji, for at least 3,000 yen. And I also got this in Hachioji for, let's say, maybe 3,000 yen as well. Here I have Ayashi no Seres. This is by Yu Watase. I got this pretty cheap, I just don't know how much. Here I have all of Marmalade Boy. Here I have the original Fushigi Yugi manga. And here I have one of the sequel, the prequel. Technically, it's a prequel, even though this was published after the release of this one. So yes, the shoujo mangas I can get really cheap at book offs. Like usually I can get like a full series on average for, let's say, less than 2,000 yen. And here I have all of A Megami-sama, or Ah My Goddess. This is the entire series, all 48 volumes. I got this for about like 5,000 yen in Hachioji. And yeah, I have some volumes here. I got the rest here. And this is also one of my more expensive titles. This is Bari Bari Densetsu, done by Shuichi Shigeno, the creator. He's more famous worldwide as the creator of Initial D. And I got this one for 10,000 yen because I rarely see this out in the wild. And you know, I'm willing to pay 10,000 yen for a series if I can't find it anywhere else. So it's a motorcycle racing manga. And the anime had like 2 OVAs. But I would say after, now the MF Ghost manga has ended and the anime is approaching its final season, I say between that and, let's say, making an anime of Subaru and Subaru, I would like to see a new anime based on Bari Bari Densetsu and having it still take place around the time of its publication, around the late 80s and early 90s. Like, the original OVA series is just a good preview to the manga. Let's get a good anime adaptation. And here I have the original Chobits manga by Clamp. It's pretty much the same as the anime to some degree, but there's more expansion. And here I have Bastard, which has been on hiatus since like 2010. I know that the Netflix did some adaptations of this, and there was an OVA in the early 90s. I totally love the Netflix anime, and I also love this manga as well, and hope the creator can someday go back to it. And here I have all of City Hunter. And yes, I got this one for, let's say, 4,000 or 5,000 yen, which is pretty good. Usually I see this on average for, let's say, 8,000 to 9,000 yen, but I got this for half off. And here I have Kodomo no Omocha. Yeah, I know that the anime adaptation has had a really unique history. And here I have all of MF Ghost, which is the entirety of the manga, the sequel to Initial D. I have yet to get a single volume of Subaru and Subaru, the sequel to this respective series. But yeah, I can't wait to see the rest of this animated. I really think the anime is doing pretty well. I know some people don't like it. I know Initial D, with how this anime is, it's hard to follow up on Initial D. But, for what it does, I think it gets the job done. Here I have all of Kinnikuman. It's a pretty interesting manga. Here I have all of Saint Seiya, one of my other favorites, but I have yet to get the other installments, such as, The Lost Canvas and Next Dimension. Yeah, I know that Next Dimension ended a little while ago. And not Next Dimension, but also Lost Canvas. I need to get back into that. And it sucks what happened to the anime. Probably one of the most underrated animes of all time. And here I have Gunmu, Battle Angel Alita. I really like how you put all these covers together. It makes Gally's face right here. And yeah, I got this for, let's say, 4,500 yen. Here I have all of You're Under Arrest, all 7 volumes. I got this all for, let's say, 500 yen. Here I have all of Hot Gimmick, and this is all of, this right here is Space Battleship Yamato. I think I got this for at least less than 1,000 yen, and I got this for, let's say, 500 yen. And here I have all of Galaxy Express 39. I got this at the Mandarake in Akihabara. I'm pretty sure I got this for at least 3,000 yen. And down here I have all of Slam Dunk. It's a really good manga, and I did like the new movie that came out, but I wish it kept the original, voice cast and kept the original soundtrack. But anyway, usually this goes for, let's say, a little over 10,000 yen, but I managed to find this at a book off not too far from my house for at least 3,500 yen. Even though the cover's a little bit faded, if I can get it cheap, then I can get it cheap. Okay, so here I have all of Area 88. I got this not at Hachioji Station, but I forgot which station it was. It was on the Yokohama line. I got this at the same book off as I got MF Ghost. I'm trying to remember the station, but I got this for pretty cheap as well. And here I have all of Demon Slayer. I got this at discount at a book off not too far from my house as well for, let's say, 3,000 yen. Yeah, I have yet to watch the new movie, but I've already read the mangas. Like, holy shit, I can't wait to see, how the rest of it is animated. And here I have Spriggan, the entirety. I know Netflix made an anime adaptation of it, and I know there was a movie that was made in the late 90s, and it became episode 2 of that particular series. This is pretty badass. It's like, Indiana Jones, meets like teenage cyberpunk or whatever. Here I have the manga of this in this corner of the world. Because of my time in Hiroshima, this kind of means a lot to me, which is why I got this. So here I have all of Shonan Junaigumi. This is like the prequel to GTO. It was called GTO, the early days when it was released in the US by Tokyopop. Here I have the regular GTO manga. Yeah, the anime was great, but the manga is much better, and I think it deserves like a proper adaptation. But if it's going to get a new anime, keep the same voice cast. Keep Takagi Wataru as Onizuka. Bring back Driver's High as the opening theme, and bring back whatever cast you can, and that'd be perfect. And here I have one of the sequels, 14 Days in Shonan. And I also have one of the spin-off mangas, GTR, about Ryuji. But I've yet to get the other sequel, Paradise Lost. And here's another favorite of mine, Flame of Recca. I love the anime, but it ends where the manga gets really, really good. Sorry, it's kind of dusty up here. And hopefully... Studio Pierrot, they've always done a good job of adapting certain mangas like these, and I hope they get the chance to one day revisit this. Though the closest we got was like the PS2 game, but that came out in Japan only, of course. And here I have some collection of Rumiko Takahashi's works. Like, these are just random collections of it. This is Ningyo no Mori, Mermaid's Forest, and Ningyo no Kizu, Mermaid's Scar. And this is Yasha no Hitomi, which is kind of part of like the Mermaid series. Explores themes of mortality and whatnot. And here I have Megami no Daigo, the original manga. There is an anime that came out a few years ago called Megami no Daigo, but that anime is based on a manga, which is a sequel to this manga. So it's about firefighting. And it did get an OVA in the 90s, but not a full series. And here I have is Sanctuary. It's a political thriller manga. It's pretty much like how these two friends who became orphans in Cambodia in the 70s, and because of their experiences, they promise they'll, reach to the top of the world. One friend will become, dominate, let's say, the political arena, and one friend will dominate, the criminal arena. And even though their worlds are apart, they have this grand master plan to take over Japan. Here I have the entirety of the Pat Labor manga. Yeah, I know that, what was his name? I think Mamoru Oshii, he's doing some new movies right now. Or maybe it's someone else, I don't remember. I have yet to watch the new movies that are coming out. But here I do have the mangas to Pat Labor. And here I have some other mangas by Ohana Miho. Or Kohana Miho, one who did Kono Omocha. Here I have Partner. Here I have Andante. And here I have Deep Clear. So these are some one-shots she did. And here I have the entirety of the Akira manga. I got this last year at a book off near my house for, let's say, 3,000 yen. And I know that my brother got like all of it in English for 30,000 yen. So yeah, as I said before, manga in Japan, if you get it used, you can get it cheap and in really good quality. And here I have all of the Nashika manga. I got this for, let's say, give or take 1,500 yen not too long, a couple years ago. And here I have the Dororo manga by Osamu Tezuka. I got this for pretty cheap. And here I have the sequel to Marmalade Boy Little. I'm positive I got this for 900 yen. And here I have all of Fruits Baskets. The manga finally got, a full adaptation. And I got this for, let's say, 900 yen as well. And here I have Cardcaptor Sakura. I recently got this at a book off near... This usually goes for, let's say, 5,000 yen. but maybe in the more expensive parts of Tokyo. But I got this not too far from my house for, let's say, 1,500 yen. Here I have all of Sailor V and all of Sailor Moon. I got this, this is probably the oldest manga I have in my collection here in Japan. And I think I got this for, like, say, 3,000 yen when I was living in Utsunomiya, like, at that time, which was, like, back in 2013. And we're finally getting to the last stretch. Yeah, it's kind of getting dark back here. Okay, so here I have the original Blue, so to the very left, I have all of Blue Submarine number 6. This actually, even though the anime came out in the late 90s, early 2000s, the manga came out like 20 years before. I don't remember how much I bought this for, but it couldn't have been that much. Here I have all of Cat's Eye. I actually got this for, let's say, 1,000 yen. Yeah, I know that Disney Plus had recently did a remake. Here I have all of the Parasite manga, Kiseiju. Yeah, the manga came out in the early to mid 90s, but didn't really get, let's say, an adaptation of an anime until, let's say, the mid 2000s. And I think I got this really cheap, like maybe less than 2,000 yen. Here I have all of Fist of the North Star. Yeah, they're doing the new remake on Amazon Prime right now. You know, but I got this for pretty cheap. And here I have the prequel, Soten no Ken, Fist of the Blue Sky. I think I got this for, let's say, 2,000 yen. Never mind. Okay, so here I have the Evangelion manga. I also got this in Hachioji. I don't remember how much I paid for this. Here I have a Gundam Wing manga, Endless Waltz. I'm pretty sure I paid cheap for this one. Here I have Rigveda, also one of Clamp's breakout mangas. I bought this like at some random bookstore, I think near Hinedeicho in Yokohama for, let's say, 1,000 yen. Here I have all of Tokyo Babylon. I got this for, let's say, 1,000 yen. I got this shortly after, like, let's say, the new remake of the anime was put on hiatus due to plagiarism allegations. So after that, you know, I went out and looked. She was like, hey, turns out, you know, they were selling it at a book off near my house. And I really do enjoy this manga, and it's a pity that it got canceled under the circumstances it did. And here's the first half of the original Magic Knight Rayear series. I know later this fall the anime is going to get its new remake, but I understand that it got a whole new voice cast, which is unfortunate because I really love the original voice cast. And I hope they somehow find a way to keep the original theme song, Yuzuranai Negai, somewhere in the soundtrack. And of course, I enjoyed the Saturn game. And here I have the entirety of Ranma 1 half. I got this around the time the first season, the reboot, was airing. And I got this for, let's say, maybe 3,000 yen. And here I have out of Sugoyo Masaru-san, Sexy Commando Gaiden. I love the anime. I had to get this manga. I think I got this manga for like 500 yen, but I haven't gotten around to reading it yet. And here I have another hit boxing manga by Koyama Yu, Ganbare Genki. Yeah, Koyama Yu has done a lot of manga. Like, he did the original Azumi manga, which later got, what was it? A movie with Aya Ueto. But I'm kind of surprised it hasn't got, like, an anime yet, at least a Netflix adaptation. So, yeah, so this is pretty much, you know, the entirety of at least my manga collection here in Japan. This is just, let's say, you know, give or take, 45% of my collection. I have more at my parents' house in Arizona, and if I ever find myself back in Arizona just to visit or whatever, I'll be sure to show you what I have in that collection as well. So I got some Hajime no Ippo, all of Ashita Nojo, Ringu ni Kakedo, and so on. So yeah, you know, if you're ever in Japan, of course, getting manga is cheap, but of course the downside is you're only going to get it in Japanese. So, yeah, if you want the novelty of having, you know, a manga in its original language, then hey, getting a manga in Japan, it's easy as pie. Okay, until then, see you next video.